Super Wild Card Weekend, and if there's my biggest takeaway from Super Wild Card Weekend is that I am addicted to the Slime Zone. If you saw the Slime Zone on the Nickelodeon broadcast, which at first when I was watching that broadcast between the Bears and the Saints, I was like, this is super annoying that they're explaining everything. But then kind of once I got past that fact and they started sliming people on the field, I was like, I'm all in on the Slime Zone, and they need to do more Slime Zone. That's what I'll say. They need to figure out a way to implement the Slime Zone into maybe even the Super Bowl. Bring it for the Super Bowl. Bring it for every single game. I think every single broadcast should have the Slime Zone in it. That's my first takeaway from this weekend. It was a phenomenal weekend. And going into this upcoming week, it's a very interesting combination of quarterbacks. So it's the AFC, which you have all players that are, I think it was under the age of 25. You've got Mahomes, so I'll go through the matchups really quickly. So it's going to be Browns, Chiefs, so Mahomes versus Baker, and then you've got Bills, Ravens, so you've got Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. So you have three quarterbacks from the 2018 class and then one from the 2017 class. The contrast of that is going to be the NFC, where you have the Rams versus the Packers, so you got Aaron Rodgers versus Jared Goff, and you have the Buccaneers versus the Saints, which is probably the last time we're ever going to see, which this matchup hasn't really happened. It's Tom Brady versus Drew Brees. I just thought it also would have been hilarious if the Bears had somehow upset the Saints, because then Drew Brees' last game would have been on Nickelodeon, and it would have had the Slime Zone, and I thought that would have been hilarious, but either way. So who I think will win and who I want to win, I think are two kind of different things. So, like, for sports cards, the matchup that I really want is going to be probably, and this is for the Super Bowl as well. I want the Browns to make it because I want to see what could happen to Baker Mayfield's cards, because his cards have been some of the most up and down cards in the past year, like at the end of the 2019 season. And I reposted this post that I did because I was saying that maybe you should think about picking up Baker Mayfield cards. I'm not gonna. We'll move past that. But so at the end of the 2019 season, when they missed the playoffs, his cards were around like $30 to $40. Like, even I think one of them sold for $26 for a PSA 10. Right before the season, the cards went up to like $250, and then they dropped down to around $120, and now they're up to around $200, $220 again. And I think it would be so wild if Baker could make it to the Super Bowl. Now, in the NFC, I guess I would want the Packers to make it, or Brady. I guess, well, if I'm being selfish here as a Patriots fan, as a Boston sports fan, I guess I want Brady to make it just because I enjoy watching him play and I enjoy hearing him talk. The one thing that I think is really strange about what he's doing is somebody put out a History Channel graphic. It was as a joke between the Saints and the Buccaneers, with Brady and Breeze as they were photoshopped as old people, and Breeze and Brady were tweeting at each other, and I was like, whoa, Brady, that's not the Brady that I remember. And then they came out with the mic'd up version, and Brady's telling everybody what a great job they're doing and that they need to keep up the great work. And I was like, Brady, what is going on, dude? That is not the Tom Brady that played in New England, which, granted, it could be just because Brady was I just want to get this game over with because I'm freezing my ass off. And he's in, well, I guess it was cold because he was in Washington too. But, either way, I think maybe the warm weather of Tampa Bay has made Brady a little bit soft. But I still root for him, because I'm not going to, he brought me 6 championships as a Patriots fan, and I don't mean to rub it in, and I know that everybody hates Brady because of that, but look, if it could be, excuse me, if it's Brady versus Baker Mayfield, I think that would be super cool. I don't think there's anybody in the NFC that their cards really would spike, because, Brady's cards are already expensive, Breeze's cards are already expensive, Aaron Rodgers cards. I mean, I guess if it was Jared Goff, that would be kind of interesting to see him play in another Super Bowl. But my one hope is that somehow the Browns can beat the Chiefs this weekend and then go to the Super Bowl, because I want to just see Baker Mayfield's cards go up. And I've heard this comparison made. In 2001, when the Patriots won their first Super Bowl, they weren't supposed to win the Super Bowl. Like they beat the greatest team on turf, the Rams, in that Super Bowl, and I mean, what an incredible game. I just remember I was super young when it happened, but I remember the game very very well, which I guess that kind of happens when that was one of the first championships, I think, as a New England sports fan, and then for the next 20 years, I think we got about a billion more. So yeah, sorry, don't mean to rub it in there, but I would say if I'm rooting for anything, it's going to be that Baker makes the Super Bowl, because I just think that like I would be interested to see what would happen to his cards, and it's the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. His cards are already pretty expensive. Lamar Jackson has also had a very interesting ride with his cards because when he won that MVP, his cards shot up during the offseason. I think a lot of people right before the season, their cards were super high, and then midway through the season, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but like this is one of the reasons why I was a little bit down on the Star Stock contest, because like I bought a bunch of cards right before the season started, and if you look at a lot of these players' charts of their cards, they actually dropped pretty significantly towards the middle of the season. And, I think I was lucky that I made a bunch of sales, and that's what kind of elevated me into the top 3. I guess that's what it was. So that's what we got for the playoff matchups this week. Very exciting stuff.